Hello everyone, and welcome to our Advent Storytime. Do you remember what we found out about our Christmas story from our Bible Advent verse yesterday? Yes, that's right. Mary was visited by an angel, and she was afraid. I'm sure I would have been. But God said that he was pleased with her. Well, let's find out what our Bible Advent verse is today. Today is the 5th day of Advent. Listen, you will become pregnant and have a baby boy. You will name him Jesus. He will be great. People will call him the Son of the Most High. Mary said, I am the Lord's servant. Let this thing you have said happen to me. Wow, wasn't Mary amazing when she heard that news? She said that she was the Lord's servant and that she would just do what God had said. Well, these angels were bringing news to Mary. Let's hope they were better angels than the angel in our story today. Our story today is called The Hoity-Toity Angel. There was once a very beautiful angel. Her hair gleamed, her wings sparkled, and her dress was whiter than white. She was the most elegant angel that you could have ever wished to see. She was also very, very proud. She really thought that she was the best. Now, one day, God sent another angel, Gabriel, to a little town called Nazareth to give a young girl called Mary a most important message. The angel Gabriel appeared in front of Mary and said, You are going to have a very special baby, and you must call him Jesus. Mary was absolutely amazed to hear the news. All the other angels were very excited by this news too. But not the hoity-toity angel. She thought Mary looked far too ordinary. She wasn't even a princess. So she glared at the other angels and began to create a terrible fuss. I am the greatest, she proudly proclaimed. Only the very best is good enough for me. I can't possibly be seen with that ordinary-looking young girl. And I won't ever sing to her. At this, the stars twinkled nervously, and the other angels shook their heads at her. Don't be so hoity-toity, they exclaimed. Looks don't matter one little bit. It's what you're like inside that counts. The hoity-toity angel frowned. She knew that if she didn't join in, she wouldn't be allowed to sing to the new baby king when he was born, and she badly wanted to do that. So she stamped her foot crossly. Bother, she said, and she pulled a terrible face. But she snootily agreed to sing. One cold, dark night, some shepherds were out on the hillside looking after their sheep. Suddenly, a fantastic angel appeared in front of them. The shepherds were absolutely terrified. They had never seen an angel before. But the angel told them not to worry. Tonight, a very special baby has been born in Bethlehem, the angel said. You must go and visit him. The shepherds were very excited by this news. The baby king had been born. But the hoity-toity angel looked at the shepherds with alarm. They looked so scruffy. She glared at the other angels and began to create a terrible fuss. I am the greatest, she proudly proclaimed. Only the very best is good enough for me. I can't possibly be seen with those scruffy shepherds, and I won't sing to them either. At this, the stars twinkled nervously, and the other angels shook their heads at her. Don't be so hoity-toity, they exclaimed. Looks don't matter one little bit. It's what you're like inside that counts. The hoity-toity angel frowned. She knew that if she didn't join in, she wouldn't be allowed to sing to the new baby king, and she badly wanted to do that. So she stamped her foot crossly. Bother, she said, and she pulled a terrible face. But she snootily agreed to sing. In the east, 3 wise men had spent lots of time learning about the stars. One night, a huge, sparkly star appeared in the sky. That star is a sign that a very special baby has been born, they said. We must follow it. And off they went. After a long time, the wise men arrived at King Herod's palace in Jerusalem. They politely asked him where they would find the special baby. In Bethlehem, King Herod replied. Then he added sneakily, I'd like to visit him too. But Herod actually didn't want to see the baby at all. He just wanted to get rid of him. The hoity-toity angel looked at the 3 wise men with approval. They looked so handsome. She watched as they visited King Herod in his palace. A palace, she shrieked, with a proper king inside. And she began to make a terrible fuss. I am the greatest, she proudly proclaimed. Only the very best is good enough for me. Do let me sing to those wonderful 3 wise men and that very rich king in his palace. It's just my sort of place, and they're quite the sort of people I need to be seen with. At this, the stars twinkled nervously, and the other angels shook their heads. Don't be so hoity-toity, they exclaimed. Looks don't matter one little bit. It's what you're like inside that counts. Then they added quite seriously, You can't possibly sing there. That is not where we are supposed to sing at all. The hoity-toity angel frowned and stamped her foot crossly. Bother, she said, and she pulled a terrible face, and she didn't sing one note. Meanwhile, in Bethlehem, a very special baby had indeed been born. His name was Jesus. Mary and Joseph wrapped the little baby in some soft cloth to keep him warm and placed him in the manger filled with straw. The shepherds arrived at the stable with their sheep and their little lambs. They went inside and knelt down quietly. They gave the baby their woolly lambs as a gift. The 3 wise men followed the spectacular star all the way to the stable in Bethlehem. They knelt down on the dusty floor and gave baby Jesus their precious gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The angels appeared at the stable too. This is where the baby king has been born, they exclaimed. We're so pleased to be here. But where is the baby king? Asked the hoity-toity angel proudly. This old place just can't be right. And that surely can't be him lying in the manger with straw poking out all around him. The hoity-toity angel glared at the other angels and began to make a big fuss. I am the greatest, she proudly proclaimed. Only the very best is good enough for me. I can't possibly be seen singing to a baby king lying in a manger in this old broken-down stable. I just can't. And she pulled a terrible face. The other angels were horrified. They shook their heads at the hoity-toity angel. This baby is the best, the very, very best, they said. And they swiftly pushed her into the stable. The hoity-toity angel tripped over onto the dirty stable floor. Ugh, she said with disgust. She picked herself up, and what a sight she was. Her wings were crooked, her hair was in a mess, her face was filthy, and her dress was all torn. She looked absolutely dreadful. The hoity-toity angel looked across nervously at the baby king. Whatever was he going to think of her now? Then, all at once, as she gazed at the tiny baby, the hoity-toity angel saw how proud she had always been, and how badly she had behaved, and she felt so very sorry. Baby Jesus looked at the sorry, scruffy angel, and he smiled at her with joy. And instantly the hoity-toity angel glowed with happiness. "Now I understand," she exclaimed. "Looks don't matter one little bit, do they? It's what you're like inside that counts. And now that I've met the baby king, I feel like a brand new angel inside." The other angels cheered with delight. The hoity-toity angel smiled a happy smile, and she was never hoity-toity again. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow for the next part of our Advent story.